When things get nasty out there, pretty doesn't matter. What matters is durability. And history keeps proving something a lot of people don't like hearing. The guns that survive the longest aren't always the most expensive ones. They're usually the ones built on simple, proven engineering, with rugged materials and fewer delicate moving parts. Mud, dust, hard use, high round counts. That's the real test. And here's the wild part. Some of the toughest performers live in the budget aisle. Today, we're breaking down 10 affordable guns with reputations for battlefield-level resilience. These are the firearms that keep running when conditions are at their worst. Number 10, the Savage Axis II. This is that sleeper rifle, the one that quietly embarrasses rifles that cost 3 times as much. The Savage Axis II is where a lot of smart shooters start, because they understand accuracy shouldn't be a luxury item. Most folks assume you need a $2,000 custom build to ring steel at 400 yards. Savage has been proving that idea wrong for years. The core of this rifle's survival value is the ACU trigger, spelled ACCU trigger. It's user adjustable, it's crisp, it's light, and most importantly, it's safe. In a high-stress survival moment, when your hands are cold or you're shaking from adrenaline, a predictable, clean break is the difference between meat on the table and going hungry. The Axis II rides on a very simple, very efficient bolt action system, and because it's a bolt gun, you are the motor. No gas system to choke on carbon. No finicky springs losing tension at the worst possible time. It'll run in the freezing snow of Alaska or the powder-dry dust of a desert without a hiccup. Savage really shines in the barrel setup. They use a thread-in head spacing system, so each rifle is built to repeat accuracy from gun to gun. People pick this rifle because it's a no-excuses tool. You can grab it in a common caliber like .308 or .30-06 and know you've got the reach and authority for medium game or protecting a homestead. The synthetic stock is basic, it can feel a little hollow, but it's weather-resistant, and it doesn't care if you smack it against a truck bed. In 2026, you can usually find these around $350 to $420, often with a basic scope already included. It's the ultimate budget precision tool. It doesn't need you to admire it. It just needs you to run it. Number 9, the Henry U.S. Survival AR-7. Now we're talking about the rifle you bring when space and weight are your biggest enemies. The Henry AR-7 isn't a fighting rifle in the traditional sense, but in a survival context, it might be the most important gun you own. Its roots are straight out of military necessity. It was originally built as a survival tool for downed Air Force pilots. The whole rifle, barrel, action, and magazines breaks down and stores inside its own waterproof, floating stock. Think about that. A rifle you can drop in a river, pick up a mile downstream, and fire immediately. That kind of durability is something your expensive custom AR-15 just can't match. Mechanically, it's a simple blowback 22 long rifle. It's not meant for a 1,000 round range day. It's meant to quietly and efficiently take small game. And when you're living off the land, survival is calories. The AR-7 is a calorie collecting machine. It lives in the trunk, in the boat, in the bush plane, until life gets very real. It's easy to assemble, no tools needed, and it feeds on the most common ammo on Earth. In the 2026 market, these are running about $280 to $310. It's proof that sometimes survival isn't about raw firepower. Sometimes it's about simply being there when it counts. Number 8, the Rossi R92. This is a legendary design, over 130 years old, and still one of the most practical survival tools ever made. It's based on the classic Winchester 1892, and this lever-action carbine is the definition of slim and fast. In a world where every tactical rifle is covered in rails and accessories that snag on everything, the R92 is smooth steel and wood. It slides in and out of a scabbard or a truck seat without drama. But don't let the old-school looks fool you. This is a serious tool for serious problems. The real survival advantage of the R92 lies in its chambering. Most commonly, you'll see it in .357 Magnum or .44 Magnum. That gives you ammo commonality with your sidearm. And when resources are thin, that's a massive logistics win. Out of a 16-inch or 20-inch barrel, that 357 Magnum picks up enough velocity to become a legitimate deer getter or a very capable defensive round. A lot of folks choose the R92 because it's socially invisible. It looks like a ranch gun, not a weapon of war, and in a tense, uncertain environment, that can be an advantage all by itself. It's fast, it's powerful, and it's brutally reliable. In the market, you're looking at roughly 550 to 650. It's a reminder that the old ways survived for a reason. They work. Number 7. The Kel-Tec Sub 2000. If you want a rifle that understands the value of staying low profile, the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 is your best friend. In a survival situation, you might not want to be the guy walking down the road with a full-size battle rifle on a sling. The Sub 2000 fixes that because it literally folds in half. It's a pistol caliber carbine in 9mm or 40 Smith & Wesson, and it can disappear into a standard laptop bag or a hiking pack in about 2 seconds. That level of discretion is a survival trait all by itself. What makes this thing a survival king is the magazine compatibility. Some folks even call it a Glock killer. Kel-Tec was smart. They built versions that accept some of the most common magazines on the planet. Most shooters grab the Glock 17 or Glock 19 version. So if you already carry a Glock sidearm, you're supporting one magazine type and one ammo family. From a logistics standpoint, that's pure gold. You've got a 16-inch barrel that squeezes a lot more velocity out of 9mm than a handgun ever will. So you end up with a legitimate 100-yard tool that feels like a toy, right up until you press the trigger. It asks you to adapt to it. And in exchange, it gives you long gun performance in a package that fits in a briefcase. In 2026, a lot of people are picking the Gen 3 models because they finally added a rotating forend that lets you keep a red dot mounted even when the gun is folded. Market price is usually around $500 to $550. It's the ultimate just-in-case rifle because it's the one you'll actually have with you when the world goes sideways. Number 6. The Hi-Point 995 TS Carbine. All right, let's talk about the gun everyone loves to clown on until they actually need it. The Hi-Point 995 TS. If you judge guns by Instagram vibes, you're going to hate this thing. It's chunky. It's mostly polymer with heavy steel, and it's not winning any beauty contests. But survival doesn't care about your feed. It cares about one thing. Does the gun cycle? The 995 TS is a 9mm carbine that runs a straight blowback system, and it uses pure mass to make that happen. Yeah, it's heavy, but that weight is exactly why it's so dependable. It's a mass-driven machine that refuses to quit. High-point reliability is basically internet legend at this point. You can feed it the cheapest, dirtiest steel-cased ammo you can find, and it just keeps chugging. It's also famously plus P rated, meaning it can handle higher pressure defensive loads without falling apart. So why do people pick it? Because it's a truck gun in the truest sense. You can leave it in the back of a vehicle for a year, dusty, neglected, and it'll still run when you drag it out. It's also surprisingly accurate out to 100 yards. And the spring-loaded butt plate helps soak up what little recoil 9mm produces. In 2026, the price on a 995 TS is insanely low, usually $280 to $320. It's the floor of the market, but it's a floor made of solid concrete. If money's tight and you need a defensive rifle that won't fail, you stop caring about looks and you buy the Hi-Point. Number 5, the PSA PA-15, the Research Edition. If we're talking about not overpaying for a rifle in 2026, we have to talk about Palmetto State Armory and the PA-15. This rifle changed the AR-15 market. For a long time, people honestly believed you had to spend around $1,200 to get a duty-grade AR. PSA proved that wasn't true by vertically integrating their manufacturing. They make almost everything themselves. That cuts out the middleman, and it lets them sell a mil-spec rifle for a price that feels almost suspicious. What makes the PA-15 stand out for survival is simple: ubiquity. The AR-15 is America's standard rifle. So in a real survival scenario, if you need a spare bolt, a new spring, or an extra magazine, you're 10 times more likely to find parts for a PA-15 than most other guns on this list. PSA uses high-quality barrels, often nitride treated, and sometimes even chrome lined from FN. That helps the rifle survive thousands of rounds of abuse. People choose the PA-15 because it lets them spend money where it actually matters. Ammo and training. You can buy a complete PSA rifle for about $450 to $500. That leaves budget room for 1,000 rounds of ammo and a solid optic. It's a Lego rifle that grows with you, and it's been proven by thousands of shooters to be 100% reliable right out of the box. In a survival situation, the PA-15 gives you the most common manual of arms and the most available parts ecosystem on the planet for the price of a mid-tier handgun. That is preparedness for the masses. Number 4, the Ruger American Ranch Rifle. Now we're talking about a rifle that perfectly bridges the gap between a hunting tool and a defensive weapon. The Ruger American Ranch. This is a bolt-action rifle built for the modern world. It's compact. It runs a 16-inch threaded barrel, and it's incredibly light, just over 6 pounds. But the real secret sauce, the thing that turns it into a survival powerhouse, it takes AR-15 magazines. Most bolt guns use expensive proprietary mags that hold 3 rounds or 5 rounds. The Ruger American Ranch lets you plug in a 30-round Magpul magazine, so you get bolt-action reliability and precision with the capacity and magazine availability of a modern sporting rifle. It's chambered in common workhorse rounds like 5.56 NATO, 300 Blackout, and 7.62 by 39 millimeter. That means it feeds from some of the most common survival ammo out there. This rifle exists because Ruger responded to a demand. People wanted a do-it-all utility rifle. That didn't cost a fortune. Shooters choose the Ranch because of its adjustable trigger and its overall durability. And since it's a bolt action, it's inherently simpler and tougher than a semi-auto. It'll run in extreme cold. It'll run in mud. No gas system headaches. In 2026, market price is around $550 to $600. It's the rifle you buy when you want one tool that can hunt, defend, and survive whatever nature throws at it. Number 3, the SKS, Sergei Simonov's masterpiece. Number 3 is a rifle that wasn't designed for a consumer market. It was designed for a world at war. The SKS is a semi-automatic battle rifle that predates the AK-47, and in a lot of ways, it's the better survival tool for the average person. It's a wood and steel beast that feels like it was carved out of a single block of iron. In a world of lightweight polymer and modular everything, the SKS reminds you that mass equals durability. The SKS became a survival legend because of its gas system and its loose tolerances. This rifle doesn't need to be babied. It was built for a conscript who might not even know how to clean a rifle, firing the dirtiest, cheapest steel-cased ammo available. That long-stroke gas piston is famously overbuilt, and because the internal parts aren't fitted super tight, the gun can be full of carbon, sand, or mud, and still cycle. It fires 7.62 by 39 millimeter, which is widely available, easy to stack, and hits hard enough to take a deer or stop a threat with absolute authority. One of its best budget survival features is the fixed 10-round magazine. While people love high-capacity detachable mags, those mags are also a primary failure point. They get bent, they get lost, the springs wear out. With the SKS, the magazine is part of the rifle. It's the kind of gun you can bury in a backyard, dig up 5 years later, and expect it to run. Prices have climbed since the glory days of surplus, but in 2026, a solid SKS still sits around $500 to $650. It's a brutally honest machine, and it outlasts almost everything else. Number 2, the Ruger 1022. If there's a universal survival gun, this is it. The Ruger 1022 is the most popular rimfire rifle in history for one simple reason. It works. When people talk survival, they love to talk firefights. But real survival is calories and endurance. A 22-long rifle like the 1022 lets you carry 500 rounds in a pocket. That's 500 small game meals, 500 rounds of practice, or 500 rounds of pest control? You can't do that with centerfire ammo without basically needing a truck to haul it. The reliability comes from its rotary magazine. Unlike traditional box magazines where springs can bind up or get cramped, the Ruger rotary magazine keeps rounds aligned correctly, and that leads to legendary feeding reliability. The blowback action is simple and easy to maintain. In 2026, the 1022 is the Lego set of the gun world. If something breaks, you can find parts at almost any local shop or even salvage what you need. It's light, it's quiet, and recoil is basically non-existent. That makes it a perfect tool for every member of a family. People choose the 1022 because it's the king of logistics. It's the gun that lets you save your expensive ammo for when you truly need it. It's for the quiet work, the daily chores of a survival life. In the 2026 market, a base model 1022 is still a steal at about $280 to $330. It's the one gun everyone should own, no matter what their budget looks like. Number 1. The Mossberg Maverick 88. Sitting at the top of this list is the undisputed king of budget survival, the Mossberg Maverick 88. This is a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun that usually sells for around $200 to $240. And yet, it's consistently ranked as one of the most reliable firearms ever made. It's the ultimate insurance policy. It doesn't have the fancy finish of its big brother, the Mossberg 500, but it shares the same heart: dual extractors, twin action bars, and an elevator system that refuses to bind up. The Maverick 88 earns number 1 because of one word: versatility. A shotgun is the Swiss Army knife of survival. With one barrel, you can shoot birdshot for small game, buckshot for home defense, or slugs for big game like bear or elk. It doesn't care if the ammo is old, dirty, or low brass. If you can run the pump, the gun will fire. The tolerances on the Maverick 88 are famously loose, and like we've talked about, that's a massive advantage in survival conditions. It can be rattling with sand and carbon, and that pump will still slide home. It's a gun that asks for nothing and gives you everything. It doesn't need batteries. It doesn't need a cleaning kit every 50 rounds, and it doesn't need an expert to operate it. It's the most truthful gun on this list. When everything else fails and when electronics die and the fancy rifles start choking, the Maverick 88 will still be standing. If there's one lesson to take away, it's this: skill outlasts equipment. Simplicity outlives complexity. A gun you understand, trust, and actually carry will always matter more than one built for admiration. The right choice is rarely the flashiest. It's the one that stays with you when everything else gets left behind. Thanks for watching and staying grounded in what really matters. If you got value out of this breakdown, send it to someone who still thinks a high price tag equals preparedness. Stay sharp, stay prepared, and remember, survival is not about having more, it's about needing less.